Darren, what's going on, my friend? For those of you guys who don't know, Darren is a client of Conversionly. He signed up almost a year ago, exactly. And here we are doing a little bit of an update. How's it going, Darren?
It's going well, man. It's going well. Excited to be here.
Yeah. So let's dive into it. So I know if anybody's been following, YouTube channel on our website, there's a case study of you and of your business. I think so. Darren, for those of you guys who don't know, Darren actually used to work at Conversionly, and then was like, "This is awesome. I'm going to take this system into like one of my own businesses." I think with your dad, right?
Yes.
And so he left. He saw a great opportunity there, and then he came back to work with us. So we're super excited to have Darren as a client because we were sad to see him go. Just put it that way. So yeah, man. So real quick, for those of you who haven't watched like the interview that or the testimony that you did, walk us through a couple of the successes and the wins that you saw in the first few months of working with Convergently as a client.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just for a little bit of context, what I do is pretty much oversee marketing and sales for a real estate development company based out of Dominican Republic. So if you're wondering, can this work outside of the US? Yes, absolutely. Right. But with that said, yeah, instantly one of the first things that we saw was just really overall getting our business organized. We thought we kind of had it organized on the back end when it came to like the marketing, following up with leads and things like that. But really, it wasn't scalable, one, and then two, again, it wasn't, we were kind of all over the place, right? We had uh, how can I say it nicely? We just had crazy marketing strategies that we tried from like local vendors, if you will.
You
And
told me, I think I remember you said you guys were just doing billboards and like
yeah, we
TV
had
and
Yeah, we had all the traditional marketing stuff already lined up. So like newspaper, billboards, TV ads, like all over. When it came to like the like digitally, if you will, like email marketing or if you will, running paid ads and things of that nature, like we didn't have anything. Like the best thing that we did prior to you guys was like boosting a post on Facebook and
uh,
Instagram.
yeah,
So you can
just
imagine.
throwing money at Facebook,
Yeah,
with
literally.
no
Like, here,
results.
take my money.
Yeah.
No real way to like track any data, no real way to see if it worked well or did it besides like views and whatever, that kind of stuff, which it doesn't isn't really applicable here, right? So really just getting that back end organized, creating the proper SOPs to bring in a setter, which we didn't think that was going to be necessary. That's which obviously, of course, it helped. And by the way, if you're using the SOPs, you can use that in a lot of other areas in your business. And I'll talk about that later because we did, and it helped tremendously. But yeah, instantly though, when we got all that back end figured out with the help of you guys, and we turn on the ads that you guys created and really launched for us, I mean, it was essentially an overnight success. Yes, there
Mhm.
was a lot of stuff on the back end, but like, I mean, the appointments, the leads, they were just coming in left and right. I mean, it got to the point where we're like, all right, we gotta like slow down a little bit because like we did not expect this many appointments and leads.
I will say it doesn't happen like that for everybody, but we do have some clients that just right off the bat, first swing, home run, and that's great, right? And then we got some clients that it takes a little bit of time to start to dial things in.
Yeah.
So, what were a couple of the results off the top, if you
Yeah.
remember from like when
So
you first?
month one, we ended up closing around $800,000. For
Okay, just
context,
from the ads.
just from the ads. Yeah. In
Do you
addition,
remember what you spent to get that?
yeah. Some people are gonna be a little upset. But about 1800 bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to figure out the math, but we'll put this in the recording. Just put it like right underneath me right here, like whatever the return on ad spend is. So I'm sure that's kind of like it's a crazy ratio.
It's a
So
crazy ratio. Yeah.
yeah.
It's the beauty of running ads in the yard. It's just a lot. It's a lot more inexpensive than we thought it was gonna be.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah. So 800,000 in revenue.
Yes.
And then you said 1,700.
Hmm.
That's like I think if I'm doing my math right, it's like 470 to one.
We were doing backflips.
That's wild. So wait, so what, why, how, like, then that revenue is comprised of what? Like, is that like deal worth?
No, that was closed deals, like closed. So what we do, we sell like condos and homes in
Oh, okay.
Dominican Republic. The average price is anywhere between, it's like the price range is between like 100,000 to like about 300,000, if you will. So obviously the cost of real estate over there is way different than here in the States.
So that 800,000 is like the price of the homes that you sold?
Yeah, correct.
Got it. And then what's your like on average, like what do you make from those homes? Like percentage
Like
wise?
net profit, I would
Hmm.
say around like 25 to 30.
Okay. So yeah, you can do the math, like, 25% of 800, and then I guess that would be the true ROI from your ad spend.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we'll put that true ROI right there underneath me
True ROI.
in a graphic. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, cool, man. And then like that was month one. Month
Yeah,
two,
yeah. Month two, we started actually to scale back a little bit because,
back,
yeah,
not up.
not up. Yeah, and the reason being is because we were from month one, from all those deals that we had, we already had a lot in the pipeline, so we actually slew down the ads by about half.
Hmm.
But we still did about like 800 and change, close to 900,000. So although we cut the ads up by half, our revenue did not change necessarily because we just the main reason why we don't close those people the last month is because it's really we're a team of two when it comes to selling, myself and my dad. So
Mm,
we can
hmm.
only do so many
Do so
appointments
many.
ourselves.
And you weren't expecting that flood of,
We were not
yeah,
expecting that
yeah.
flood.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And so you scaled it back in month two, and then so over the past year, so it's been like almost a year, I think, in February.
Yes.
Um, so what has it been like over the past year? Like, do you gradually scale that up, or have you
Yeah.
maintained? Like, what does that look like?
So for the next month or two after that, we kind of maintained it at that around like 600 range, excuse me, 700, 800 range on ad spend, mainly because we needed to now, which is what you guys helped us with indirectly, create the SOPs to bring in a sales team on board and a
Mm,
sales leader to help us out. Because at that rate, we were gonna, yes, making a ton of money, which is awesome, but we were gonna burn ourselves out.
yeah.
We are a small company. We're a small team. So yeah, we use the SOPs and how to create SOPs that's which is literally inside of your guys' portal. We
Mhm.
use that to create SOPs to bring in, to create a training for our new sales reps or real estate agents and that sort of stuff. It took us a little bit to get that all that organized, and then we ramped up back the ads closer to the end of the year. Uh, Added revenue from the ads, it was around like $6 million. Could have
Oh,
been
wow.
easily more.
Over
Uh,
the year?
yeah, over the year.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
20% of that is, what you guys are keeping. Okay.
yeah. And could have been easily more if we had like two or three more like sales agents, which by the way,
Mhm.
we just like finished onboarding. And we also scaled now nationwide. Our ads, by the way, that was all like regional targeted. Now we opened up
Regional to the country,
city. Yeah,
DR?
to the city. That was all
Oh,
from
to a city in
yeah, to
DR.
our city
Oh, so
in
now
New
you're
York.
doing the entire, okay.
Yeah, so this quarter we officially launched for the entire country. So now we're recruiting from the entire country and we're selling homes and stuff from like the entire country now because we
Well, it's funny because you sent me a DM. The reason why we're talking now, right
yeah,
today, is because you sent me a DM. He's like, dude, thank you, brother, for everything that you guys set up. I literally made one tweak in a year ago, or the ads that you created a year ago are still crushing it. And you sent me a ad manager, like the dashboard in ad
yeah,
manager. And I was like, nice.
yeah.
So yeah, is that ad? So when you relaunched it, maybe made some tweaks, was that the tweaks were like taking it throughout the whole entire country?
Yeah, so taking it throughout the entire country, obviously changing the verbiage a little bit. So now it just doesn't say like, hey, we're based here. Now it's like
Yeah.
nationwide, we'd have homes. So, and that was all again, through, and that's one of the things I love about you guys. You guys have like, if this is happening, like, change this. Like,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
like, if you don't know the answer, like, just look and you'll find the answer of like what
Yeah.
you need to fix.
And I mean, if you've been doing this for a while, you kind of know, like, okay, when this happens, this needs to change. When that happens, this needs to change. And that's the power of tracking and the power of numbers, right? Because
Yes.
if you can't really change something that you're not tracking, right?
Yep.
And the reason why you track it is because you know, like, oh, okay, this is the number, this is what the KPI should be.
Yep.
So this is what I need to do to either increase that or to, decrease it depending on the KPI, obviously,
Right.
to tweak that. Okay. And then how long have those ads been up and running? And like, what are are they the same as when you were just running the city or?
Yeah, so far this month, I'll tell you the numbers right now. I'm looking at it. The cost, we generated 171 leads this month so far, and the cost per lead is $7.71. I mean, excuse me, $6.71.
Are they going to like a Facebook form or are they going to a funnel opt-in page?
Yeah, so they're still going through how you guys have it set up. So they go into the
Yeah.
opt-in page, VSL, and then they
Okay.
can book an appointment.
So $7. Okay. Awesome. And then do you know the cost per appointment off the top?
The cost off the top of my head, no, I do
No.
not.
Okay. Do you know how many appointments you booked?
Yeah, so far we booked, let me look, about 47 appointments.
47. And then what's that total ad spend for that time frame?
So that is $408.54.
So 408, and then it was 47 appointments
Correct.
divided by 47. Oh, that's pretty good. So you're getting $4 per lead, or was it
$6.
six
$6.
dollars per lead?
Yep.
That your conversion rate's pretty high because you're at $8.68 per appointment.
Yeah.
So that means when people are filling out the lead form, they're seeing the VSL, they're going through and all the other information. They're like, I want to book a time with these people. So
Yeah.
that just tells me that your qualification, like the copy and the creative and your opt-in page, is bringing in quality traffic that's
Yes.
booking with you. So that's pretty cool. Nice. And then how many sales reps are you guys at right now?
So including myself and my dad, it would be a total of four, and we're onboarding a couple more.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your numbers are great. So it's just going to come down to just bringing on more salespeople.
Yeah, that's literally right now our bottleneck. It's just bringing on more salespeople. We're bringing on first like a sales lead, someone who can be boots on the ground because it's gonna be helpful. I travel a lot of I travel a lot back and forth between here and Dominican Republic. So we're looking for a sales lead to help. But
Mm.
by the end of the year, we're probably gonna have anywhere between 10 to 12 sales reps. So we can just continue to like scale like crazy.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. Like when you got the marketing and the sales process dialed in and you're meeting your KPIs and you're meeting your numbers, it just comes down to, the business owner's taking the calls. And the business owner's like, oh my gosh, I got to do payroll and admin and hiring and firing and all the other business owner stuff. And I'm taking 6 calls a day.
Yeah,
That gets a little crazy. And
it goes
so
back.
that's, you go into another problem, right? So you fix one problem, then you find another problem, and you're like, now I need more sales reps. And
Yeah,
then the problem's like, cool, I got sales reps. Oh, they're not closing. So now I need to get more sales reps, and maybe it's my recruitment process. And then there's always, the next step. Are
yeah.
these ads in English?
Yeah, so right now all the ads are in Spanish. We're actually
Okay.
playing around to converting them into English because we do want to tap into more the if you will the American market. Right now, our target market are Dominicans that live in Dominican Republic, obviously, and Dominicans that live here in the States. So we do run some ads that are, more seasonal. Like right now, we just turned them on for the ones in like New York, New Jersey, where there's a, dense population of Dominicans. I believe there's about like, if I'm not mistaken, about like 3 or 4 million Dominicans living in between New York and New Jersey, probably more, honestly.
What would
Uh,
you be targeting them for? Like in New York, for example?
yeah,
Do
so
they have like a second home or?
yeah, to buy like their second home or something along those lines, which is very common. They are already doing that. That's what honestly a lot of them do. They come here, they work, from till like they need to retire, 60s, whatever it is, and now they already, have a home in Dominican Republic and they retire in Dominican Republic. It's like very, very common. So with that allows us to do on the back end kind of like start building because again we're also developers. That's actually our specialty. Now we're more focused on developing like places that you can retire in if you are a little bit more
Mm.
upscale. So it allows us to build different stuff. The other market that we're also going to tap into probably by the end of like in Q4 of this year, it's going to be more so like vacation homes, if you will. So go to, places like Punta Cana, Santo Domingo, Boca Chica, which are, places where people buy, vacation homes. Normally, we don't develop too much there, right? But now because like we have the marketing in alignment, like we can go, develop and generate those leads because we know how to do that.
Hey, that's not a bad gig, Darren. Just
No,
go like, hey guys, I gotta go to Punta Cana for work, and
yeah,
the office is right on the beach. It just happens to be on the beach,
just
so
happens.
I gotta go
Yeah.
down there for a couple months. I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Yeah, no, and
Uh,
again, tracking the data like allows us to do that because one of the feedbacks that we got, even when we like slew down the ads a lot, was like, "Hey, like I love what you guys have right here, like because we're developing is closer to the cities, not so much coastal, right? So
mm,
like, hey, we love what you have there, but if you happen to be developing near the beach or this kind of stuff, so we were again collecting this data
yeah,
allows us to forecast and like okay, now we have like we literally have a list of like 400 leads that are like, hey, if you have anything in Punta Cana, let me know. So we can,
yeah,
now specifically target them where we're starting to develop or we have a new property and we email them and stuff like that.
yeah.
So we have a really solid pipeline that we're excited about.
What was your experience with so I know you guys were doing more traditional, like maybe word of
Yeah.
mouth, referrals. You said you were doing um, the radio, you said you were doing
Yeah.
billboards. And so what in your experience, like how's that different when you're talking to it's not like a cold outbound lead, but it's still a cold lead because they're filling out a form online. They don't really know who you are and they
Right.
don't have a relationship. Obviously, the way that you sell that person is going to be harder
Yeah.
because they're colder than like a warm referral or something like that. So talk about like how that has been different because I know you and your dad were
Yeah.
on the call, like on the phone. And so was there any processes that you had to change with that?
Yeah, so probably the biggest thing that we had to change was just making sure that when we talked to them, like we sent them the website, they had a lot of touches going up
Mhm.
versus like again in the traditional sense, like they saw the billboard or saw like it felt more tangible because they were a little bit more accustomed to it, if you will, versus like they were scrolling and saw the ad and then they clicked on it, right? And then they eventually saw our faces, right? So we just took, we added a couple of steps to so they can get a little bit more touches, so they get more nurture, if you will.
Yeah.
Then the other thing that we did was that we would send them actually a voice note. So we use WhatsApp a lot to communicate. It's
Yeah.
pretty much runs Dominican Republic when it comes to communication. So when we saw that appointment came in, we used to send them a quick voice note that we actually had pre-recorded. Hey, we're like excited to talk to you. Just wanted to so get my voice and things like that. And then on the call, it was actually at first we started doing a little bit more like try to do hard closes, if you will. But that wasn't really quite working out. So what we ended up doing more so is like, hey, like in this call, it's just for you to get to know me. You get to, I get to know you, that sort of thing. So almost like we've almost framed it like an extended like coffee chat or like lunch,
Mm-hmm.
we're just talking over lunch. And then from that point, they already had like the plans of all of the properties that we have listed, pre-construction or already
You
built.
sent those to them. You sent that to them
Right.
before the call?
Yes, sir. So they already have that. Then, we'll eventually kind of talked about that. It's like, hey, listen, what we recommend is for most people to do is just to actually come and visit before making that decision. It's just to, check it out and just pick out like your best two or three. So you can, what direction you want to go. So it was like a lot more like soft option selling, if you will.
Yeah.
And that dynamic, yeah, it changed the sales process a little bit in the sense of making it a little bit longer. But now it's like, okay, he's not like saying, like, hey, we have 100 people, you gotta do this now, or you're gonna miss out on this home. Like, which
Oh, yeah.
if it was like a more popular property, would I would say that's like just letting like there is like 4 or 5 other people looking
And
at
that's
this.
genuine. That comes from
Yeah,
a
exactly.
genuine place versus like you're trying to manufacture scarcity.
Right.
And people are like, dude, I can see straight through that.
Right, right. Yeah. So we just let them know if it was a hotter property. If it wasn't, I was like, hey, listen, we do tend to get them off the market fairly quickly. But again, that's what I'm saying. Have a couple options just in case. But it's more so like so you're picking the best option, not like the option that's left, you know? And
That's
they
smart,
really
like getting them in person and getting them to see and feel and experience the
yeah.
property. My wife did that when we were getting a puppy.
Yeah.
She was like, "No, we don't have to buy it. Just come look at it. There's like, we're meeting the lady has like a ton of Yorkies, and then as soon as we met the lady, and I was like, oh my God, I'm taking this one home." He's like, "I knew if I could just get you there, you would sell yourself." I was
It's
like,
done.
"Dang it."
It's a done deal. Yeah. So it was the same concept. One of the things that we're working on now is just creating more like leveraging kind of like virtual reality, or if you will, where they can kind of like dive into it, like on like not necessarily soon, but like on the website and stuff like that. So we're actually
Mm,
rebuilding our website because more and more we are getting, more individuals that live outside of the US, excuse me, Dominican Republic from the US. And yeah, yes, a lot of them fight frequently and visit, but if we can cut that step and like, hey, like here's a 3D. I know it's not like necessarily being here, but like it's the closest thing you have, let us know.
right.
And other stuff that we have on the pipeline, like, we want to do like a small convention here as we're scaling. And, it's just, hey, all these people, like you guys love this complex that we're developing in Punta Cana. Let's, we'll figure out some flight plans and we'll all go together and do like a big tour. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
so we
yeah,
have a lot of exciting stuff.
yeah. How do you guys how are you qualifying people? Obviously you want to make sure that, before you go through all that whole entire process that so like through the like marketing and the sales process, with our system, you had the opt-in page of the VSL, and it's usually
Yep.
like a qualification like application, and then they go to book a time. So what did that qualification process look
Yeah.
like for you? Or did you guys tweak it at all or
Yeah, we didn't tweak it. Actually, no, we actually haven't tweaked it at all. Well, now for the US market, we did.
yeah.
So it's just identifying, hey, are you in the US or DR?
Yeah.
But other than that, really, like it has remained pretty much the same. Pretty much we're asking like, hey, your household income, your
Mm,
budget, and what does your credit score look like? And that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that would weed out the people who just would not be a good fit,
Exactly.
quality,
Yeah. And then oh actually there is one more that we added. Are you looking to rent or buy? Because obviously then it splits the form into two because rent is much lower qualifications versus obviously
Yeah.
buying.
Yeah. And you guys do anything on the back end? Do you like route the applications to a specific person, or does that change your sales process?
Yeah, so when we have a setter, if you will, that kind of over like her whole job is to obviously keep conversation going and obviously look at the forms of the individuals that
Yeah.
filled out the form and route it the proper way manually. Only because we want to make sure like the volume is still not crazy enough where it needs to be automatic, and we have her there, so why not? And again, she's able to give them the extra care and love and attention if necessary. Like if someone like books at an appointment like a week out, something like that, I probably won't reach out to them probably like 2, 3 days before that appointment. But the setter, she'll like, hey, by the way, I'm like Darren's assistant. So if you have any questions between now and your appointment, I can
Nice.
handle that. And you know,
Do you still
uh,
have the setter from conversion from us?
no, so we actually have a local setter
Oh,
that
okay.
we actually never got a setter from Convergently. So we just
Oh,
go through
got
the
it.
training. But we have a
Yo, so you hired someone local, put her through our training, and then
yeah, yeah.
got it. Got it.
Yeah. So that was probably like the hardest part about everything. Because my dad, that's something that my dad and I, we went back and forth. I'm like, they can be remote. He's like, no, I want someone in the office. I'm like, all right, whatever. So we needed to find someone obviously that spoke English. So I didn't have to, translate the whole training. Because that would have been hard and long.
Do you speak
But
Spanish?
yeah, it's actually my first language.
What do you mean translate? What I didn't catch that part.
So
Translate.
translate the training from English to Spanish.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, I didn't want to do
I see what you're saying.
that.
Yeah.
So we found someone that spoke English. She went through the training. Absolutely, she's crushing it.
Nice. Oh, cool, man. Any last words as we wrap this up? Any tidbits as if someone's maybe just signed up or if someone's thinking about signing up? What would you be able to say to that? Because you've seen both sides of it.
Yeah.
You've worked at Conversionly and you've also been a client of Conversionly. So
Yeah. Yeah, so it's crazy because it was easy for me to make the decision because obviously I already had kind of like the inside look, and you always ask the question like, why would it work for me? Like why,
mhm.
the real question you should be asking, why wouldn't it work for me? And the reason I say that is because that's probably not going to happen unless you're not willing to put in the work and things like that. There were obviously, we had to put in work. Again, our biggest roadblock for us in the beginning was just getting organized and getting all that material set up, which of course that helped that you guys did. There was, the way that you guys helped us refine our offer, refine our demographics and all that stuff is like, and mind you, we've been in business at that point for 20 plus years, multi seven figure company doing fairly well already, but this really did take us to the next level and allowed us to go to a not national scale. So it's like really ask yourself like why wouldn't it work for you? Because it will. Like as you're willing to put in the work, be patient, right? Get organized, you will be successful, right? And like kind of like you were saying earlier, like it does open up a lot of doors. If like I don't say it creates new problems, I should say it opens up new doors because it's just an opportunity for you to grow more, right? And it did. Like we went from just again having a setter and just being me and my dad selling to now having a total of four of us selling to now onboarding. We're looking to onboard like a sales manager, sales lead, whatever, to then be scale our sales team anywhere between 10 to 12 reps. And we're confident that we can do that because now we have the proper SOPs and systems and SOPs in place. We're probably going to break something along the way because that's just business and it happens. But again, it's just an opportunity for you to continue to grow. So if you're kind of thinking about it, I promise you there's way more upside on the other side. You just got to take that leap and be willing to put in the work.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I think everything that we're building, obviously, the offer, making sure that that's cold approved to an audience. Obviously, we're helping people generate like client acquisition systems with paid ads, right? So all this stuff
Yep.
like the funnels and the VSL and the opt-in pages, and like not only are you paying for us to set all that up and customize it for you, but also like the know-how of how to get the best conversions. Like what should we be doing to maximize appointments and people would actually show up to a call.
Yes.
Whether you do this on your own or whether you do this with another company or with us, like these are the things that you will need to be successful to get clients from paid media like online.
Yeah.
So, I think, the way that I like to explain it to people is, it's just helping them cut through the learning curve. Like, yeah, 100%. You could probably actually figure this out, but like, how long is it going to take you and how much money are you going to burn through? Until you get to the KPIs that you should be at and actually like producing an ROI and being able to scale. Yeah, those are good points. Thanks for bringing that up, Darren. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Of course. Of
All
course.
right, guys. Wrapping it up, Darren. Hopefully, we'll see you next year.
Yeah. Hopefully at that point we'll be around, I don't know, 20, 30 million. That's the goal. So
We'll call you Mr. Worldwide. Mr.
I'll shave
All
my
right,
head.
guys. We'll see y'all later. Adios.
See you guys.